Shalom, Kahala, Yahawah, bahasham, Yashayah, bahasham, Kwakadash. Double honors my teachers, the apostles and elders of Great Millstone. Peace and mercy to the elect, who are the house of David, reborn again in this generation. And shalom to the 130 Yashayah, who today are known as the Negroes, Latinos, and Native Americans, who before losing their true heritage were known as, and still are, the true Hebrew Israelites of the Holy Bible. In today's lesson, we're going to talk about what the wealthy are doing now that we're at the end of the world. But let's read this first. This is Revelations 6 and 15. And the kings of the earth, and the great men, and the rich men, and the chief captains, and the mighty men, and every bondman, and every free man, hid themselves in the dens and in the rocks of the mountains, and said to the mountains and rocks, Fall on us, and hide us from the face of him that sitteth on the throne, and from the wrath of the Lamb, for the great day of his wrath is come, and who shall be able to stand? Well, I can tell you right now, the Israelites, the 1/3 plus the 144,000 elect Negro, Latino, and Native Americans who are waking up right now and are getting right in accordance to the truth of the Bible, that's who's going to be able to stand in that day. But you see, this scripture here talks about the pretty much everybody who is somebody in this world, man. Right? It tells you that this is going to be a prophecy that when we are at the end, that all these people, right, the rich men, the chief captains, the mighty men, that they're going to seek to hide themselves in the rocks of the world, right, in the rocks of the mountains. Well, going through the news and the articles, this caught my attention, right, and this got me to think, right. It tells you here, it says, billionaires segregate themselves on luxury private islands as ordinary people told they can't travel. Right? So this is just one article, that's recently come out in these last few months that have basically been, keeping tabs on where these rich billionaires, these kings of the earth, are going and what are they doing during this time. Right? When this whole, pandemic started, there was a popular, idiom that or piece of propaganda that was going around to try to, confuse everybody and trick everybody to think that we're all in this thing together. Right? You had celebrities and prominent people come out saying, "Oh, we're all on the same boat," and this and that. No, man. We are not in the same boat. We're in the same storm. But you see, there's some people out there who are in yachts, others who are in boats, some in life rafts, and others who are simply just treading water, man. Trying to stay afloat, right? And that's the reality of what's going on right now, right? This is the storm that Donald Trump was talking about. Well, during this storm, these devils at the top, these kings of the earth, these rich men, these noblemen, these mighty men, they've all have taken counsel together and are now playing their, end game, right? You see, because this is another thing that kind of, crossed my mind, right? Because as I'm seeing all the crazy things going on in the world, right, I'm also starting to see that these devils, these people who own these huge corporations who are basically making the world's life a living hell, who have gotten rich by the corruption and their complicity with the status quo, and ultimately these devils at the very top, they're now living out their end game plan, and you can see this, right? Especially in this article, right? You see a lot of these devils have disappeared. People don't know where they're going. You have some of these rich devils, taking their hobbies to the extreme and flying into space, right? Wasting all those billions of dollars, right? Well, this is literally what is happening now, which has been described as a prophecy in the Bible, man, that these people of prominence in our current world at the end time would seek to hide themselves, right? And not only are they just hiding themselves from the rest of the world, but they are hiding themselves from the second coming of the Messiah, okay, which the world ignorantly calls Jesus Christ, whose true Hebrew name is Yahawashi, which is Hebrew for He is salvation, right? And these devils know that we are soon to be visited, right? This is why they're pushing forward their agenda, which is why they're trying to do what they're doing around the world, right? They're trying to kill off the vast majority of the population, so that way they can reign supreme. And their hopes is that when the Messiah returns, that all the effort and things that they put into place, that they'll be able to implement it and fight off the Lord. You see, because these devils know that the Lord exists, but they believe that He is simply just another being that just happens to reside in the higher dimensions, and that it's technology and it's technology that basically puts the Most High up there, man. Right? These devils have been, what does it say? They've been deceived by their own pride. They think that they could fight and destroy the Lord and continue to rule here on earth. Well, that's not going to happen, right? Because these devils, these Edomites that are in power, which the Bible prophesies, is that in the end time, that there would be a wicked nation in rulership, and that wicked nation would ultimately have the world in subjection, have it morally upside down, and everything would be basically upside down. This is why you always. This is why there was a video years ago, man. It was like a Sony end of the world video, and it just showed everything was upside down, man. Dogs were walking people, cats were walking backwards. There was just a huge end of the world apocalyptic scenes, right? Well, this is what the Bible was prophesizing, that things would just be upside down in the world. And if you look at what's going on right now, right, you have the economy about to collapse, food shortages very apparent, right? I had my in-laws make a comment that they are now starting to see that there's less things in the stores to buy, right? Now realizing that what I've been saying for these last few months and years has not been all just hoopla and fear mongering, that that it's now actually happening, right? You have the whole pandemic going on. You have the world on the cusp of World War III. You have the revealing that UFOs do exist, though Esau freaking lied. Though he told some truth, he lied about the rest. He basically came out with a big nothing burger saying that they didn't know what the UFOs were, but that they do exist. These devils know exactly what those are, man. They know that those are the Lord and His angels visiting the world, man, basically keeping a tab on everything going on, right? That's why these devils, like this guy Larry Page, or I'm sorry, what's his name? Yeah, Larry Page is basically, hiding out over in the Fiji Islands, man. And I've actually been over there, man. There is nothing to do over there except for fucking just vacation, man. There's no businesses out there, man. It's a third world country, right? The only places nice out there are like on the resorts. Everything else is a third world location, man. And it's like that because these devils are in rulership, man. And by the way, Larry Page, he is a 1948er, man. He is a small hat member, right? And this is one of the kings of the world, right? But let's go and read this article. It says, news that billionaire Google co-founder Larry Page has been hiding out on the buying isolated private islands in Fiji to avoid tourists who aren't allowed, and once again underscores how the elite is using the fallout from the pandemic to segregate themselves from the general public, right? And that's exactly what it tells you here in the scripture, man, that the rich men and all these people, that they would hide themselves in the dens and in the rocks of the mountains. Now, what is that ultimately doing? That means that they're going to hide themselves. They're going to seclude themselves from the general public, right? it doesn't tell you here in the scripture that every poor man, right, or every person that's under bondage is going to do it. No, it says every free man, right? And who are the free men? The free men are the people who are well-to-do, right? The people who are out there who are able to buy these huge bunkers, man, and basically bury them. Man, this shit is not cheap, man. I'm telling you, knowing just from general fucking experience, man, if you want to dig a hole and lay concrete, man, you know how much money I have to put down to just, buy some concrete and put it in my backyard? That shit's expensive, man. And that's expensive for us Israelites, right? But to these devils, to these Edomites out there, man, 50, 70, 200,000 is nothing to them. And that's because they are not, they are in their kingdom. This is their heaven, and this is their riches, man. Look at this, man. This right here is a freeway, actually, but look at this, man. They're buying these bunkers, digging out this huge trench. Now, just to give you a heads up, to dig a trench this huge, right? Just the hole itself, it will probably cost you about 10 to 20,000, okay? And these bunkers this size, you're looking at over 100, 200,000, maybe even $500,000, man, $500,000 to do this. And that's not talking either about getting pouring the concrete on top, right? These are the free men, the mighty men, the rich men of the world, right? And this is them telling the rocks, fall upon us, right? Because they ultimately are hiding from what they understand is coming, man. And from what all the stories I've heard, man, right now the business of these shelters, man, is booming, man. Right? They cannot keep up with demand, and it's gotten so crazy that there's a premium for these bunkers, man. Right? There's a channel on YouTube. This guy, I forgot his name. You see some of his images here. He goes Atlas Bunkers, man. This guy here, he explains how he's just making a killing off of these underground bases, man. And I'm telling you, man, Larry Page, while he's buying isolated private islands, what do you think he's doing there, man? Do you think he's just building huts on the beach? No, man. He's reinforcing those places with mansions, with bunkers, places that he could hide. You see, because this devil understands that we will be visited soon, but he also understands that we're going to go through a devastating event known as Jacob's Trouble, which is ultimately going to be martial law, the implementation of the mark of the beast, and ultimately these huge revolts, right? And this guy, who, again, if you don't know who Larry Page is, he is one of the two people who are the supposed founders of Google, right? They ultimately were set up by the Israeli Mossad and the world elites to set up Google and to basically corner the market on the internet and make Google what it is today, right? But now this is what this devil is doing with his money, man. He is now trying to live it up. It says, Page has been living off grid for over a year, and forced a state-owned news website to remove an article about his activities that was also delisted by Google in the apparent effort to conceal his location. He has spent months in Fiji during the coronavirus pandemic. Much of the islands of Tiberia, and it has been rumored that the billionaire has bought at least one island in the country's Manuka archipelago, reported Daily Mail. Page has also been spotted in a smaller island called Namatu, which a sailor named Lorenzo Caparini claimed Page bought in a blog post in August. Page, who has a net worth of $117 billion, making him the sixth wealthiest person in the world, which is bullshit, because again, the real rulers of this world have trillions of dollars, was able to take advantage of Fiji's Blue Lane program, which lets super wealthy visit the archipelago on their super yachts and private jets, even when other travelers were banned. So while Page gets to enjoy a sumptuous view of South Pacific while being attended to on his luxury private island by 30 staff waiting on him, ordinary people who have lost their jobs, businesses, and homes due to lockdown aren't even allowed to travel there. It says Google, and then here it goes. Google co-founder Larry Page has been living off grid and holding out on isolated Fijian islands for most of the pandemic, right? And let me tell you, man, this is so this here reading this article just kind of gave me an idea, man. See, we are literally living in the last days, man. We are living through the very beginning parts of the apocalypse, man. Right now, you're seeing all the rich people of the world fleeing. They are leaving. Right now, the Senate has, I think, convened for 7 weeks. Right? They've gone on vacation while the fucking eviction moratorium just fucking kicked off. These devils left town, man. And what do you think they're doing in these seven weeks that they're gonna be off? You think that they're just chilling at home, staying at home, and everything? No, man. They're gonna be out and about, and getting their plans set, because they're gonna arrange to live through these coming events, these end of the world events, right? They're making their reservations, they're buying properties, right? And again, don't just take my word for it. Look, here's an article. This is from 2008. It says, afraid of revolution, super rich preparing escape bunkers in New Zealand. We got fucking the dickwad from Facebook. This is that guy, I forgot, he's that famous director and stuff, and some of these other guys, I don't know who they are. But it says, this is not a screenplay. This is actually happening. A small handful of capitalists are buying up in New Zealand and building underground bunkers. They range in size and price per person. Some of them extremely large, with the ability to house up to 300 people. Some cost $8 million per person. So you see, man, these devils, they're doing exactly what the Bible prophesies that they would be doing, that they would be building, little areas or little, fallout bunkers, and telling these rocks to fall upon them, to hide them from the face of the Lord, man. That's ultimately, look at this, man. You ain't got no Jakes, no Israelites out there doing this stuff, man. You even got some of these Edomites, man. These here it goes. Deputies discover stolen Argo in underground bunker in Gray Harbor. So again, you got. I guess this isn't the same thing. Looks like something else, but this just shows you, man, the lengths that people will be going to hide themselves from the coming end of the world. And that ultimately, it's sensible, man. Right? It's sensible to build fallout bunkers because people understand that there's going to be a war, and the people who really understand what's going on, they know that there's going to be a world war, which is going to be a nuclear fallout. But the thing is that it's going to be these Edomites, man. It's going to be majority of these Edomites who are going to be doing this stuff, man. They're the ones who stay up to snuff on this, man, right? The majority of our people, the Negro, Latino, Native Americans, the Israelites, man, they're too busy out here fucking trying to change their gender, trying to defend little Uzi Vert, or condemn the baby and shit for bullshit, social issues, right? While the world is burning down around them, man. But this is why the Lord's going to ultimately kill off two of every 3 Negro, Latino, Native Americans, because you have not woken up. You have not chosen to come back to the truth of your reality, of your power, man, which is you are the Israelites, and the only way that you're going to get out of this is that you're going to have to, come back to the truth and serve the Lord as best as you can, as is described in the Bible, and to realize who the Lord is and who you are in relationship to Him, right? This is Psalms 149:8. It says, to bind their kings and with chains, and actually, me start at 6. Let the high praises of God be in their mouth, and a two-edged sword in their hand, to execute vengeance upon the heathen, and punishments upon the people, to bind their kings with chains and their nobles with fetters of iron, to execute upon them the judgment written. This honor have all his saints. Praise ye Yahawah bahasham Yashayah. Right? And what is the judgment written? Well, the judgment written for these heathens, and especially these Edomites, is that they will go into captivity. Those who survive World War III, the riots, the martial law, the civil unrest, right? Those who survive the destruction which the chariots, which the world refers to as UFOs, bring, those people who are hidden in their bunkers, they're going to be the first fruits of slavery, man. That's the judgment written for these Edomites, man, that they will no longer rise and that they would no longer have a place in this world, after we're done with them. And what are we going to do with them? Well, it tells you that they're going to go into heavy servitude for 1,000 years, and then along with the other 16 nations upon the earth, right? They are going to serve us Israelites in the Lord, right? And they are going to work hard to build up the kingdom of heaven here on earth. They're going to work to restore the earth to its natural beauty, right? And they are going to serve the Lord according to the way that we are teaching them, right? And that way is going to be the way of the Bible, right? That is the judgment written, right? And their kings will go ultimately in chains, and their nobles will be tied up with fetters of iron. Those chains, man. So these people like Larry Ellison, Mark Zuckerberg, all these people, man, who save themselves, right, by buying these underground bunkers and building these fallout shelters. Well, congratulations, you have just won yourself a front row ticket to servitude. You will be those responsible for birthing back the nation of Edom into slavery, right? Those Edomites that die on this side, right, that will not make it into the kingdom of heaven alive, that will have to die, they're going to be reborn as the children of these elites, right? But they're going to be ultimately all slaves, so they're going to be nothing spoken of, and they're going to be living in pits. So says the Bible. This is Psalms 2:1. Why do the heathen rage and the people imagine a vain thing, right? What are those vain things? That they're going to survive Armageddon, that they're going to outlive the people living on the surface, that they're going to beat the Messiah when he comes back, and that they're going to rule forever. The kings of the earth set themselves, and the rulers take counsel together against Yahawah bahasham Yashayah and against his anointed, saying, let us break their bands asunder and cast away their cords from us. Right? And that's these devils, man. That's these devils in power today, man. From the Caucasian Edomites that are in rulership of the world, to all the other nations that are confederate with them, that are working together to make their plans come to light. This is why you have all these different nations all doing the exact same thing that these devils are pushing, man, by initiating these jabs and everything. Because why? Because they want to break the bands asunder, man. And what are those bands? Those bands are that they should serve the Israelites and be under servitude to the Lord. See, they want to rule in hell rather than serve in heaven, right? That's their motto, right? Though they know it or not, right? This is why they're satanic Freemasons, occultists, pagans, Satanists, right? Verse 4, he that sitteth in the heaven shall laugh, and the Lord shall have them in derision. Right? See, the Lord is laughing at these devils, man. This is why the Lord has put it on our spirits to reveal what these devils are doing, right? And to reveal what's going to eventually happen to them, what their judgment will be. Then shall he speak unto them in his wrath, and vex them in his sore destruction. Right? Yet have I set my king upon my holy hill of Zion, and I will declare the decree. Yahawah bahasham Yashayah hath said unto me, thou art my son, and this day have I begotten thee. Right? And ask of me, and I shall give thee the heathen for thine inheritance, and the uttermost part of the earth for thy possession. Thou shalt break them with a rod of iron. Thou shalt dash them in pieces like a potter's vessel. Right? And there you go. Right? That's ultimately going to be the judgment written for these devils who think that they're winning, that are fleeing the society, trying to hide themselves right now. Like, it's literally happening right now, people. While you're there worrying about how you're gonna pay rent, how you're gonna fill your refrigerator up, how you're gonna make it through these end time events, these devils are out there literally buying islands, buying underground bunkers, buying plots to build their getaway plan, man. Like, it is literally happening, people. Prophecy is playing out before our eyes. And I just wanted to cover this article. I thought it was interesting, and I thought it was eye-opening to show you, man, that it's not just us preparing for what the events are, for what the end time events are going to bring, by getting right with the Lord, by preaching this truth, and ultimately praying for mercy, right? These devils on the left side, with their carnal approach, are also getting ready, man. They're building their bunkers. They're trying to kill off the majority of the population. See, they are doing what we are doing, but they're doing it on the left-hand side, and that isn't going to be a successful plan for them, man, because it tells you here, right, that they shall, be our inheritance, man. They shall go into slavery, and that we're going to basically break them with a rod of iron, meaning that we're going to have harsh rulership over them, man. So I just wanted to touch upon that, Aki. Hopefully this video is edifying. Until the next time, I want to give all praises to Yahawah, bahasham, Yahawashai, bahasham, Kodesh. The Lord is my teachers, the apostles and elders, a great millstone. Peace and mercy to the elect. Shalom.